Hi, this is Roger Moore, and you're listening to James Bond Radio.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of James Bond Radio. Now, today we have an interview with the rather lovely Susie Vanner, who you will know as the rather lovely Bond girl in the pre-title sequence of The Spy Who Loved Me. But first, before we speak to Susie, we're going to have a little chat with none other than LA's finest, our brother from another mother, Mr. John Williams. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so happy to be here. It's so good hearing your voice. It's just, I'm smiling. I can't stop smiling.
Well, that's
it's nice to be finally back on the air. Yeah.
You were going to be on last week, but you had the builders in, didn't you? That was your excuse.
I did. It was so stressful having a house full of painters, having to watch them and knowing that you guys were going to record. It was a great episode. Sadly followed by some news right thereafter, things have changed a little bit. But it was great hearing JBR, everyone.
Yeah, back in action, man. I tell you what, look at that as timing again. Once again, remember when we put out our Dan Romer episode, and the day we put it out, we got the news that or the rumor at that point that he sort of left the production, and then we put out, a No Time to Die catch up. my slip of the tongue. My No Time to Die catch up, and then literally that day they announced that it's delayed, and there we are speculating.
Absolutely,
going to see it and stuff. So what? How are you feeling, man? Are you double gutted this time, or are you like, I've made peace?
No, yeah, I'm totally at peace with it. Look, this was to be expected, right? I mean, having given this some thought, it's a bummer because, like everyone, I want to see this film, but at the end of the day, here's the bottom line. I don't care what anyone says, including Eon, the poster. We're not going to see this movie until we, as a society, are able to gather together in groups in an indoor setting. That's when this film's coming out. Personally, I think we'll see it the end of next year. We'll see it next holiday season, and I'm okay with that. Well, to be honest with you, I'd rather see it.
Yeah, go on. Be honest with me.
Yeah. I would much rather see, listen, Bond to me is the holidays. I think Bond coming out in November, and that's what I was most excited about. But we're not going to be able to have that holiday season this year. It's gonna be something else, mean something else. So for me, I think it's going to come out. I hope it comes out next November. And it just, when things get cool outside, and you're spending time with your friends, and you go see the new Bond film, with like people. I always tell people, like, this is the first time I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing it with them when I've already seen it 4 times.
Dude, you've probably just made a sizable chunk of our listenership cry with those words that just came out of your mouth. So this is the thing, right? So it's kind of like, that is the next question. Are we going to see it next April? Or do you think there's going to be another delay? So you're obviously in the camp there's going to be another delay. Absolutely. I think nobody really knows at this point. Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, okay, back in April of this year, it was kind of like, okay, we're putting it back to November, or March, I should say. We're putting it back to November, and we were all gutted. And November seems so far away. And now November is here, and it's almost here, and it's already been delayed again. So it's like, that seemed like a chunk of time, didn't it, from March to November? And a lot of us would have thought, I'm sure it'll all be over by then. But obviously it's still ongoing. And then April, is that enough time? That is the big question, isn't it? Is it all going to be back to normal by April? I don't think it will be either, really.
No way. They need to make money. This is about money for them, rightfully so.
Yeah.
If it's my 300 million, I want to make it back and then some. This is, Daniel's last chance at a huge cash grab. Mm-hmm. So I think it will happen when we can safely, comfortably go out in groups and sit indoors for several hours. That's when we're going to see this film, and that's not April. In my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. I've never hoped that I've been more wrong about anything, but I just don't see it happening for a long time.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because you've got that whole thought of, okay, a lot of people saying, just put it out on streaming, video on demand kind of stuff. And it's like, that to me is just, that is not going to work for anybody. You know what I mean? It would make some money, but God, man, they probably wouldn't even make their budget back, their production budget, let alone the marketing budget. When you've got something that's potentially worth like $1 billion like Skyfall was, or close to $1 billion like Spectre was, and you've spent that much money on it, there's no way you can kind of half-ass that release. And it's kind of like, if it is, where it would be different, I think, is if there were leaks of it all over the place and screeners were already out there and it was up on the Pirate Bay or whatever the website is these days. And that's not the case, is it? It's kind of like, it's locked down. I think it's on 2 hard drives in a vault somewhere and nobody's got access to it.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then it's like, well, we just have to grit our teeth and wait as long as it takes, don't we? You know, and
Absolutely.
for me, I would, if they put it out on streaming, I'd be like, oh shit, man. I would of course watch it and I would jump in, but there would be a huge hole in my heart left where it's like, I want and need to see that huge Royal Albert Hall premiere. I need to see the crowds of people in the streets. I need to see Daniel on that red carpet, all the interviews and all the hype leading up to it. I want to see that. It happens so few and far between these days that I want to see that. Whether we ever end up getting tickets to it or not, that's besides the point. It's like the event needs to happen, you know?
Yeah. That's not April, Tommy.
No, it's not, is it? Now I'm talking about it.
Not,
like,
everything you just described is not happening in 6 months. We'll be lucky if I'm right a year from now. But I know what you mean. Honestly, I'd love to watch it at home. I'd love to just see it at this point. But as far as the scenario that you just described, we're sadly a long way. The good news is the film is finished. We will eventually get to see it. And we have 24 films and we have each other.
We do, man. It's that thing, isn't it? It's like none of us want to go to a socially distant cinema, do we? We don't want to be sitting 3 or 4 people apart with a mask on and all that crap. We want to go in there when the time is right and everybody's this huge hump we're in at the moment. Everybody's over it, everybody's past it, and everybody's happy and ready to party again. You know, that's what we need, really.
Totally. I also think I had a dream that this is for people who are huge Daniel Craig fans. I think this is positioned Daniel to potentially come back for one more film. I think given, you know, this is not going to, whatever, with back in $50 million, he's not going to, this isn't his retirement fund. And I think the risk that they have to take after everything the studio has gone through by introducing a new Bond that may or may not work, I think they're going to pull an Octopussy View to a Kill, throw some money at him, and it's going to be an opportunity for him to come back. We might see Daniel one more time.
Well, you know what? We talked about this on the podcast last week, and I've been keeping my eye on Daniel this whole time because, you know, the whole word is that this is his final one. And of course, but then when they had that Jamaican sort of press conference reveal thing way back at the beginning, and somebody asked him, the presenter asked him, okay, this is going to be your last one. And he was like, well, that's what people are saying. And I was like, I see the game you're playing. You've been taking
totally
Rogers book. And that is the right thing to do. If you're James Bond, it's the right thing to say, I'm going to do one more. You know, it's not the right thing to say, I'll do, you know, keep asking me and I'll keep coming back, because then you know that they're gonna cheap out on you. But if you say that and your films are massively successful like Daniel's are, then that paycheck just gets bigger and bigger, and the more we're in back with. And it just makes, it's good business sense, isn't it? It's like you would do that if you were James Bond, and as were I. So I was thinking, okay, if this one does good money, I'm pretty sure we will see him back for maybe one more.
Yeah.
This though, I don't know, man. I don't know how stressful this is for everybody behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like if they'd have managed to creep it out on Valentine's Day, just at that last minute, we'd have just coasted in and had everything would have been normal. It would have made a shitload of money, and that would have been fine. And then all this kind of crap would have kicked off afterwards, but we didn't. And it makes me wonder now if it is the end of 2021 where we see this, production ain't going to start on anything until, dude, like when you think of the break between
you can't do this.
It's going to be like 23 or 4 before they even begin. And then maybe it's 25, 26 before we see that last film. And then Daniel is long in the tooth by that point, you know? Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
to a killing it. That's what we're asking.
Yeah. I'm down for it if that's what the play calls for. You know, what's interesting is that with each year that passes that we don't get the new film, is it just me or does Spectre just start looking better and better? I don't know. I've gone back and I've revisited that film, and I have fallen in love, and I'm always encouraging listeners to do this. I think you should not worry so much about No Time to Die and maybe revisit Spectre again. It's I think it's just getting better and better, you know?
Dude, this tricky thing with that is, right, and I have to be very careful about what's going to come out of my mouth now. I love Spectre, right?
Yeah. Always loved it.
I've always loved it from
Yeah.
the moment I laid eyes on it, right? It was love at first sight. And I continue to love it. And I acknowledge, you know, some of the you know, the issues with it, I should say.
Yeah.
But whenever I see it mentioned in conversation online or anywhere, it's usually in a negative tone. It's rare for somebody to say that they enjoy it. It all seems to be, you know, it's got that Die Another Day flavor where people are ranking it as the worst film. They're sort of talking about it as if it was a huge disaster and a massive mistake. And I'm just like, dude, I do not remotely feel like that. I love Spectre, man. It's my second favorite Daniel after Casino.
It's gotten better and better. And I feel like, you know, it's the most recent and it was a long time ago. So perhaps all those things that, you know, we people have been, myself included, have been critical or harsh of, okay, why don't you try putting that aside and spend a little bit of time simply because you don't have any other choice. So stop worrying about No Time to Die and maybe go back, revisit Spectre and see the good in it, you know? So I think all the tropes are there and I think it's an amazing film now more than ever.
The same thing happened for you with Quantum, isn't it? You're quite the quantum flag waver.
You better believe it. Yeah. Please let's not go down that road right now. Yes, I am. But I mean, this is what we have. We have Spectre, and you know, why not go back and I don't know. I watched it recently, and I was riveted. I was glued to it. Phone in the kitchen. Do you know what I mean? Like, gave it my undivided attention. Going, this movie's beautiful. I love Bond too much to just pick it apart. I've learned through this time, these last few months, and I know both you and I took a little time away, a little break from Bond. I took a break from Bond, and then I took a break from Bond and charged the batteries. When I came back, I watched Spectre and was like, Jesus, man, this film is
was that your first watch after your break from Bond?
Absolutely.
Nice. All right.
You know,
what inspired that particular choice? Why was it that film you were like, I'm going to come out of my
just because it's the most recent, and I think it's, you know, the more I watch it, the more I see things I maybe didn't see, you know, and I love the way it takes its time, and time is something we all have right now, you know. So
When I think of that film, man, here's what I think of. I think of that amazing pre-title sequence, that wonderful soundtrack to the pre-title sequence. And the standout scene for me, I think, is that moment where Lucius Sciarra is about to be shot by the hoodlums. Bond comes in, and there's that little moment where you hear the silenced pistol and the camera just tilts and you see Bond standing there. That, for me, man, that's like a top 10 all-time Bond scene for me. That. What do you reckon about that?
I love those scenes. They're both amazing scenes. You know, there's just so much. I don't know. I mean, listen. You don't like it, you don't like it. But I feel like there's just so much to mine in that movie. And it wasn't just this immediate, for myself included, it wasn't just this immediate film that you got right out of the gate the way that you did with Skyfall. Well, everybody but you. I love it. You brought it up in the last episode too. When Tom Sears starts talking about how he's lukewarm on Skyfall, I always like, I perk up. One of my
so many people are outraged at home right now. You know that, right? So many people are just taking their earbuds out their ears in disgust.
So, you know, listen, this is the last film we've got. And if you weren't completely happy with it, go back and check it out. You know, spend some time with it. And there's a lot of great stuff in there. And listen, Eon obviously thought highly enough to bring back major characters from that film.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so, you know.
Yeah, the way I look at it is if you look at The Man with the Golden Gun, you have got probably the greatest vehicle-based stunt or car-based stunt in cinema history, or at least it was at one time. I can't think of anything that beats it off the top of my head. Maybe there has been since. The barrel roll. But all anybody wants to talk about is the slide whistle. Do you know what I mean? You don't ever hear a conversation about the barrel roll without somebody bringing up the slide whistle and how it ruined everything. And it's like, hold on a minute. Let's just not worry about the slide whistle and put our focus on how fucking amazing that stunt is, because it is brilliant. And in my opinion, it hasn't been beaten. So fuck the slide whistle. Let's enjoy the stunt. But don't even listen to me because I don't even live by my own words when it comes to Die Another Day. So if you can't bear Spectre, then it's fine. You have absolutely every right in the world to not enjoy it. But
well, Tommy, I think you need to take a little dose of your own medicine. You know, whenever you do decide to review Die Another Day, I feel like perhaps decades later, perhaps you should try to just take it for what it is. You know, I mean, it's the Pierce Brosnan Diamonds Are Forever. Let's have fun with it.
Yeah,
get out of that casino state of mind and just enjoy it.
I suppose that is what we've always tried to do from day one, is when you revisit a Bond film, is you try and watch it, you know, take all the baggage away and try and watch it fresh, like it's the first time you've seen it, without the history or the other films even, and just enjoy that film for what it is. So whether I will be able to achieve that or not is anybody's guess, you know. And then, you know, when we finally get around to it sometime next year or whatever, you know, we'll see.
It's safe to say that there's no greater anticipation on James Bond radio than your review of Die Another Day.
Well,
I know I speak for all of us when we're looking forward to that.
Let's look forward to that when it gets delayed to November 2021. How about that?
We should be so lucky. It's great because they've got the posters printed. I noticed, you know, the posters for No Time to Die say November. It does not say November 20.
Well, that's it, because the date now in the UK is April 2nd. I don't know what it is in the States, whether it's the same, but that was the date in April of this year that it was going to be coming out. So all those printed posters are ready to go again. I don't think it says 2019 or 2020 on the poster. So it's like good recycling, eco-friendly. I like it.
Absolutely. So we'll get the film, and you know what, we're blessed that it's done. And you know, when this film does come out, it's going to mark such a momentous occasion that we, as a planet, can go back out and be together again. And what better way to do that safely and comfortably than a brand new James Bond film, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm okay with waiting. Plus, I feel like it's saving me tens of thousands of dollars.
Is that just purely on?
I don't have to buy that horrible sweater that nobody looks good in. You know, I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it takes a little pressure off. But no, you know, we'll get it. It's all good. Glass half full. Right?
Absolutely. All right then. On that note, let's move on to today's interviewee. Now, good old our fellow 00 compadre Brian Dobson went solo on this one and did a lovely interview with Susie Vanner, like I say, from the pre-titles of The Spy Who Loved Me. That is right up there in terms of iconic pre-title sequences, isn't it, John? Like, you know, skiing off the mountain, Union Jack parachute, dude. Like that's right up there. Some might even say it's the best one. So to be a part of that, that's pretty cool. So without any further ado, let's have a little bit of theme tune, and then we will leave you in the capable hands of 00 Dobby, Brian Dobson, and the lovely Susie Vanner.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Bond. James.
Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British end up, sir.
Welcome to James Bond Radio. News, reviews, and discussion of all things 007.
Lucy.
As you can see, I have no problem with female authority.
Oh, pipe down, 007.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Well, here we are on James Bond Radio. Today, we have a very, very special guest. We have a Bond girl from the very film that started my passion for James Bond, The Spy Who Loved Me. We have, of course, the one and only Susie Vanner. Welcome to James Bond Radio, Susie.
Thank you. I'm honored that you have invited me.
No, not at all. Not at all. How are you doing?
I'm really well. And you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thanks. I'm very good. So where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from London, where I live, in
Right.
Notting Hill. Yep.
Fabulous. Have you got a lot going on at the moment, I guess?
Yes, funnily enough, because the album's coming out tomorrow, I've got my producer here who went to Bali for a couple of years, and he's come back specially to help us do a movie of me singing 2 songs live, which are going to go on YouTube and wherever we can get them on. Or, as you know, everything is sort of changed because of COVID. So
Yeah,
I would have been doing some live TV appearances, but they're not happening right now. So
that's a shame, isn't it? Right.
We're having to change things around a bit, and also a live gig, and that's been postponed. But we're making the best of it.
Well, that's what you got to do, haven't you? So
yeah, and I'm also writing some new songs for my next album with him.
Oh wow!
So,
you are busy then. You are busy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, we'll come back to your album in just a moment. So just before we sort of kick off with things, we've got a bit of a tradition here at James Bond Radio to come up with a few kind of quick fire questions, just a little bit on the background of what you know on the James Bond franchise for what we all love. So
Yeah.
I think I probably know your answer to this one, Susie, to begin with. But who's your favourite James Bond?
Well, let me think. Could be Roger.
Thought it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I think Daniel Craig is wonderful, actually, by the way, and has been wonderful. But I think my favourite is Roger Moore. Not that I'm biased or anything, but I loved the Bond movies when they had that sort of tongue-in-cheek humour, and I just love them. And now they're a little bit more special effects, a bit more serious.
Yeah, well,
I like the fun. Yeah,
you're leading on an open door with me for that one, because I love that kind of tongue-in-cheek humor that Roger had. So great choice, fabulous choice. Do you have a favorite James Bond film?
Oh, a favorite James Bond film? Well, that would be The Spy Who Loved Me.
But of course, and a fine choice.
Silly question.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, the reason being as well, because Cubby Broccoli, who unfortunately has passed away, beautiful, lovely man. He explained to me that he wanted The Spy Who Loved Me to be the best Bond film ever, because it was the first one that he'd done on his own without Harry Saltzman.
That's right.
They had a big argument and they fell out. And so he was, very inspired to make it really the best. And I think it probably was one of the best. The parachute scene was magnificent, wasn't it, with the Union Jack?
Absolutely incredible. I mean, that particular film has such a resonance for me personally, because as a kid growing up, I watched some of the old Shawns, loved them, but didn't really, obviously on TV, and didn't really have the same effect. And then my dad took me to see The Spy Who Loved Me as a kid, and that was the film that took me from kind of I quite like this to I'm a proper serious Bond fan now, and
I'm so glad.
And watching The Spy Who Loved Me as a 78-year-old boy in the cinema just absolutely blew me away. So it's such a pivotal, iconic Bond. I think that one.
Yeah, I was very lucky to be in that one. I think, really, because I still have fans from all over the world sending me fan letters. So to be a Bond girl is an amazing thing. You're immortalized.
It is forever. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So do you have a favorite? What about favorite Bond girls in the series? Is there a particular one that stands out, or any particular actress or character?
Well, I love the Bond woman that came out with the white 50s bikini.
That would be Honey Rider, played by Ursula Andress.
Ursula Andress. I think that was an amazing scene. Don't you? I mean,
that's where it all started from, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, exactly.
Such iconic. Now, apart from obviously your role as the log cabin girl in The Spy Who Loved Me, have you an earliest memory of Bond, Susie?
My earliest memories of seeing Bond movies.
Yes. Did you have a particular earliest memory that you can think of?
Not really. I mean, I loved the Sean Connery movies at the beginning before Roger. And I always thought he was a brilliant Bond, which I still think he is as well. I didn't really go to the cinema very often in those days, actually. So I saw them mostly on TV after they'd been out. I didn't go especially to see any of them, but I've always loved the glamour and the beauty and the filming, the quality of the filming and the direction and the production and the music as well, obviously, was always wonderful, wasn't it?
The music's something else, isn't it? It really is.
Incredibly glamorous.
Obviously, the Bond films are synonymous with fabulous exotic locations. Is there any location that the Bond series has been to, or just a personal favorite that you would like to go to that you haven't done?
No, I've probably been to most places now in my life. So
fabulous.
Yeah, I traveled the world. I mean, I even traveled the world after doing the Bond part I did in The Spy Who Loved Me. United Artists invited me to go on all the promotion tours. I was in my 20s, and there I was going all over the world: Australia, Japan, South America, South Africa, all over the countries.
Wow.
So I was very lucky to do that. I mean, Rio de Janeiro, it was a dream come true, really.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, unbelievable. So, if you have to think about all the various scenes, this is a tough question, but all the various scenes throughout the Bond series, is there a particular scene that you think is the most memorable? I think you possibly alluded it with the parachute scene there.
Yeah, the parachute scene, I think. Only because, as well, as I was going all around the world with Cubby and Richard Keel, Jaws in a movie, this was who we were with, on the promotion tour. We were attending all the film premieres, and in every single country, in every single town that we were in, we went to Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Brisbane in Australia, and then Japan. We went to Osaka, Kyoto, Tokyo. Everybody, every single premiere, everybody stood up and clapped at that scene with cheers.
Yes,
it was so incredible to see it, and I've never seen that with any other Bond movie, really.
No, I think you're right. And even as a kid, when I went to see that, I do remember that particular moment as being, wow, this is something special. This is something that I hadn't seen before. And
I think it was because the sound cut out, didn't it? The sound cut out as he was falling and falling and falling, and everyone was, really, really, really worried that he was going to die.
Yeah,
and then the music came on, and it was just so incredibly exciting. I think
that's a terrific scene. Great choice. So sort of taking you back, Susie, to that particular time, mid 70s, 76, the casting for The Spy Who Loved Me. Tell me about how all that started. How did it all come about? What led you to meet up with Cubby to decide on the role?
Yes. Okay. Well, I just actually come back from Madrid. I'd been there for 7-8 weeks filming. I had a lead part in a Spanish movie, and that was quite exciting. And I came back feeling, very excited about that. And my agent happened to call me the day I came back, and she said, darling, I would like you to go to Pinewood to meet Lewis Gilbert. He's interested in you for the next Bond movie.
Okay.
So off I went. I met Lewis in Pinewood, and it was a wonderful meeting. He was a wonderful man as well, and he just really interviewed me, but only just to ask me different things about what I've been doing and about the Spanish movie. And within 5 minutes of talking to me, he said, "Well, Susie, I've actually got a part that I'm interested in you in for, and it would be in a log cabin." And he explained it. And he said, "But I'm going to call your agent when you're gone, and hopefully I'll see you again." So he called my agent. My agent called me when I got home, and she said, "You've got the part."
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just incredible. I mean, I don't think I'd got a part quite as quickly as that before, but there it was.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yeah. So that for us legions of Bond fans, that kind of love scene on the sheepskin rug is just so quite. It's so memorable and iconic as far as Bond love scenes goes. I'm sure. How was that experience of working with Roger?
Oh, well, it was very funny because he tends to ad lib, and he tended to ad lib, I should say. Unfortunately, he's also passed away. But what a lovely man. I mean, he was very funny, very witty. In fact, I've got some publicity shots of me, particularly in that position, as we're supposed to be making love, and I'm laughing hysterically because the photographer had taken it, in between takes, and because he was just making me laugh so much with his jokes. And some of the ad libbing they actually used in the script. They actually changed it round to what he suggested.
All right.
So, he is just very good fun.
Oh, that's superb. That's superb. So, and then when the film wrapped, you said you were involved in a lot of promotional work.
Yes. Yep. I went all around the world. with Cubby Broccoli, the producer, and Richard Keel from Jaws, who played Jaws in the movie, and he was 7'3", I think, and it was funny. Photograph sessions we had everywhere. We had to do television interviews, radio interviews, non-stop. It was very incredible work, really, to do. Red carpets wherever we went. Beautiful reception from everybody. They were so welcoming everywhere we went. Australia, Japan, South America. Just amazing memories, really. Yeah. And I got to know, I mean, it's really like being part of the family when you get a part in a Bond movie. They treat you so beautifully, and
yeah, I mean, that's what everybody says, isn't it? Yeah, it's such a warm family atmosphere.
Yeah, I had my birthday actually in Tokyo, in Japan, in Tokyo.
Oh, wow.
And they gave me a surprise birthday dinner.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Everybody, yeah, it was so wonderful.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, no, I was reading the other day, funny enough, that the novel of The Spy Who Loved Me, that the character of the Christopher Wood novelization of that film had you down as a character as Martine Blanchard. I don't know if you've seen it before, and I don't know if that was ever discussed with you at the time, or was it just simply Log Cabin Girl?
No,
right? Okay.
They just said, it's a love scene, and I mean, Lewis just described the scene. Really, he didn't say I wanted to be Martine Blanchard. The name, I don't think I ever heard that name until I saw it in the press somewhere.
Right. I Lewis Gilbert's one of my favourite ever directors.
Yeah.
It's such a shame that he's no longer with us as well, isn't he?
He was such a lovely man as well. Wonderful to work with, very kind, the whole team were just amazing. It was an honour to be with them, really.
Yeah, fantastic.
Have that experience.
So beyond the Spy Who Loved Me, what other sort of movie roles or what other things came along for you following that?
Well, I did a lot before that as well. I did done a lot of American TV films. I worked with Kirk Douglas on Queenie, about the life of Merle Oberon, David Niven,
right,
on an American TV movie about the decoding system, the war.
Yep, sure.
That was brilliant. Yeah, and I worked with Sylvester Stallone, who directed me on Nighthawks.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that was a brilliant movie. And I did loads of television. I mean, I had a lead part in a BBC series called Kiss the Girls and Make Them Cry. I did Tales of the Unexpected. I did a BBC 3-hour film of Count Dracula with Louis Jourdan and Frank Finlay.
Yes, funny enough, I saw that on YouTube actually. That clip. Yeah. I mean,
so
Louis
Jourdan seen me crawling through the New Forest and lying in a coffin and eating a baby.
I did, yes, I did. Quite memorable. And I mean, Minder was always one of my favorites as well. So the fact that you were in that as well was good.
Yeah.
That's terrific. So, talking obviously, tomorrow is obviously a big day coming up. You've got your new album out, but I understand your sort of singing started way back in the 60s. Tell me all about that.
Yes, late 60s, mind you. I would like you to mention that. Yeah, I just finished my A-levels at school, and I was doing a secretarial course, and I saw this ad in the local paper, which was pointed out to me by Chris Andrews' cousin. Actually, he was in my class at that point, and she said, "Look," because she knew I could sing. She said, "Why don't you go and see him? It's my cousin, and he's living just around the corner in Hornchurch, because I was born in Romford, Essex."
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you knew that. And there I was, an Essex girl, going to see Chris Andrews, who was quite a well-known songwriter and singer, and he'd actually written all the hit songs for Sandy Shaw at the time, and he'd sort of finished writing for her, and he was looking for a new girl to write his next songs for and record. And so again, being a procrastinator and not sort of having much confidence at the time, I didn't go and see him. I didn't answer the ad until this girl in my class said, "Hang on a minute, he hasn't found anyone." After about 2 months, she said, "He hasn't found anyone." I said, "Oh, really?" I told my mother, and she said, "Come on, we're going to go along. We're going to go get in touch with him and go." So I went with her to see him, and he asked me what I would like to sing. My mother waited outside. in the hallway because I was embarrassed I'd taken my mum along for support. And I sang My Guy, and he said there and then, I love that. Can you sing it again? He said, what are you doing tomorrow? I said, nothing. And he said, well, I'm going to RCA Records and I want to sign you up.
Mm-hmm. He
said, you know, I said, well, my mum's outside. She'd love to know that. She would be so excited. And he went, what's she doing outside? Bring her in. We'll have a glass of champagne.
Right.
So anyway, big celebration. And my mum ended up phoning up all my aunties and uncles. It was a kind of a really, my mum always wanted me to sing. She was a frustrated singer. She used to play a lot of music around the house. And I'd been singing since I was sort of 7 anyway, you know, doing different talent contests and different holiday camps that we went to and winning. Sure. And so I was in the school choir, and, you know, she used to always come and see that. And so she was just so excited, and it was wonderful to see her so excited and proud. And of course, then I went to record three songs that Chris Andrews had written. And during that time, I became a session singer because I wasn't earning any money. Sure. And I did 3 or 4 years of session singing. And then I met a photographer who took pictures of me during one of the sessions. He was working for one of the other producers, and he took pictures of me, and he took them along to a film agent, a very, very amazing good one in Park Lane. And she was, she's got Judy Geeson and Susan George on her books. And she was looking for a new girl as well. And I walked in, and she immediately said, darling, I want to take you on. And I said, well, I haven't done any drama. I haven't learned drama. So she said, it doesn't matter. I'll start you on commercials and we'll see how it goes. So basically, she signed me up there and then, and I went and got loads more pictures done, took them around all my castings, auditions, and I just didn't stop working. I mean, I must have been the face of the moment or something. You know, my face was probably in vogue at the time, and I didn't stop working. I thought, well, I could always go back to singing. I didn't have time to sing because I couldn't arrange the sessions or the thing because I couldn't fit them in with the auditions. Yeah. I didn't know when I was next going to be auditioning, and that was coming first because I was so excited about getting so much work. And then, of course, you know what's happened after that. I did all the work and TV and films, and then I met my husband, fell in love, met my husband, had a beautiful little boy, and I decided I would stop working and maybe go back to it later, but that never happened until my son had grown up, and here I am now to gone full circle.
Right, yeah. life has a habit of going full circle, doesn't it?
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously we're at present day. What's given you the inspiration or the idea or the impetus to come up with your new album?
Well, not a new album, an album. I mean, a fate, really. I mean, life is just so weird. I happened to meet Kip. I was sitting next to him. I didn't know who he was. I was sat next to him by Simon Cowell on his table for a charity ball. And it was a charity called the Shooting Star Charity. I don't know if you know about it.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, my husband and I were sort of, you know, we were regulars at these balls, and we put some money, you know, into the charities. It was a beautiful charity. And we were sitting there, and one of the auctions was a day with Kipper Eldridge, famous Grammy Award-winning producer, to work with him and sing a song of your choice, and he would take you out to lunch, you know, and that was it. So the man who I was sitting next to and having a wonderful evening with him, he was very, very, getting on like a house on fire, was Kipper Eldridge, and I didn't even know. And there I was, my husband put his hand up for the auction because he loved me singing. Yeah. He said, come on, you should do that. And so we got it. We got the auction. We paid for some money into the charity. And there I was with this prize. And I didn't get in touch with him for 1.5 years. And so when I did get in touch with him, he fortunately did still remember me. And here I am now to tell the tale. I recorded 2 songs instead of 1. And he said after I'd recorded the 2 songs, he was so sort of impressed that I got them all done quite quickly in one day. And we'd had a lovely day. And he said, why don't we do an album together? So I said, why not? I mean, what an amazing thing to work with. He was such a great, humble guy, considering he's done such great work and he's such a brilliant producer. Yeah. And we spent 1.5 years doing 14 tracks for the album, and he helped me choose. My son helped me choose some. He did, and several other people, you know, sort of suggested different songs for me because I wanted to sing my favorite songs, and they were helping me find them. And yeah, I mean, it was just brilliant.
I've got to say, there's some terrific tracks on there. The inspiration of you know, Walk on the Wild Side and Sweet Dreams Are Made of These, and the title track, of course, In These Shoes. I watched the video of that. I thought it was terrific, absolutely terrific.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I chose that song as well because I thought it would give me an opportunity to dance in a video. I love dancing.
yeah. No, it's a great video as well. Really, really good.
Thank you. No. Did you see Walk on the Wild Side as well? I did Walk on the Wild Side.
Yes. Yeah.
That was the first video I did. Yeah. And the funny thing is, we were supposed to be filming In These Shoes in Cuba. That was the idea. Mm-hmm. But I don't know whether you thought it looked like Cuba. Kind of did a bit. But guess where I filmed it?
There was definitely that Latin vibe. Yeah.
Do you know where we filmed that?
No.
Manchester.
Not quite as much of a Latin vibe. Yeah.
Not quite as glamorous, but it was. I think it was a bit cheaper.
Absolutely.
No, it was brilliant company that we found in Manchester. Great team, young team, and they were brilliant and fun to work with. And then In These Shoes, I actually got a friend who's a choreographer, brilliant choreographer, Paul Robinson, and we used him, and he found the dancers, and I think that came together really well, didn't it? In These Shoes.
Absolutely. No, I thought that was terrific. Very colourful as well. There's a lot going on. No,
and I love the track. It's very sexy, isn't it? I love that track.
Terrific. So just some great choices on the whole album. I also noticed for obviously the Bond aficionados amongst us, you've also had a go at the Nobody Does It Better.
Yes. Well, that was. Yeah, we've also got the intro to the Bond movie because did you know I worked at Abbey Road with the BBC Concert Orchestra?
I did not know that. I did not know that. Right, okay.
A whole orchestra.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. And we had Guy Barker doing the arrangements, who again was found by Kipper. Well, Kipper has introduced me to some amazing musicians, amazing, you know, arrangers and engineers for recording, and they've all been the most fantastic people. You know, they've all been really, really amazing at their jobs, really passionate. I love people that are passionate about what they do. They've all been really humble and beautiful people. So I've been very blessed with that. So yeah, there I was at Abbey Road, little girl from Romford, Essex, never done an album before. And it was just, I had to pinch myself, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
The orchestra was just amazing, and you know, it was an incredible addition to the album, really, because a lot of albums, as you know, a lot of music these days is computerized tracks, and you know, mine is sort of real musicians, which I'm quite proud about.
Yeah,
really.
absolutely. So your album's available from October the 2nd. For downloads. Yes.
Yeah. I hope everyone likes it, loves it. I'd like to be, you know, I'd like to be an inspiration to other people as well, that it's never too late to follow your dream. And, you know, it's if you have a dream, just go for it, basically.
Absolutely. So you were saying earlier that you're looking into recording another, and you've got material for another. Yeah.
Yes, I don't want to stop singing now. I want to carry on. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's great. You've got additional material coming up then.
Yes, we're writing together right at this moment today, and we've been writing for the last 2 weeks here in London. Kipper's come back just for 2 weeks, and then we're going to continue on you know, on the phone or online, and he's introducing to other people who will come and help me put down some tracks, you know, before we record them permanently when he can next come back from Bali. And it's all very exciting, really. Yeah, I've got some writers that are helping me with suggestions, and some famous writers and artists who are involved, and I think it's going to be quite exciting, really.
Definitely, absolutely. Susie, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I think clearly so much happening for you, and I wish you the best of luck and success with the new album.
Thank you, and I hope you like it.
Oh, I'm certain. The bits I've listened to already have been terrific. So
I'm so glad. Have you heard Crimea River?
I haven't heard that one yet. No, and Crimea River is a great one of my favorite tracks. So I haven't.
Me too. Yeah.
I haven't heard that one as yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope everyone enjoys the album, and and I'm hoping to do some live gigs as soon as I can. So
fabulous.
That's going to be the next thing, hopefully.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck again with the Susie. I hope everything goes well.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you and lovely to talk to you.
No problem. No problem. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
All right. How cool was that? What a lovely interview.
Yeah, Brian is a very, very lucky boy.
He is indeed. 100%. He is indeed. Very, very lucky indeed. Well, mate, we're going to be coming back soon, you and I, aren't we, with a bit of the music of Bond. We're going to be talking of View to a Kill this time, which worries me, John. It must be said, I've got Brian on the brain. Because, you know why? Penultimate John Barry. There's only one left after a View to a Kill. So I'm a little bit concerned. And then after John Barry's gone, mate, we've got a very, some would say, questionable soundtrack. And, it's dodgy times, isn't it, man? When you deal with John Barry, you've got belter after belter. And, it's when after John Barry goes, maybe that's not the case anymore. So what are you feeling? How are you feeling about that?
Well, I've had, maybe it's just because we haven't recorded in so long, but I've had more people reach out about A View to a Kill than any other episode. And I'm very excited to do it. That said, I'm as excited as I've ever been for any episode with regards to License to Kill. Excuse me, Living Daylights.
Okay,
Woo!
Very nice.
Living Daylights. I mean, that is such an amazing score and one that I revisit often. And then things are going to get very interesting on the music of Bond. Cayman, and obviously we're going to move into the Brosnan era, and finally David Arnold. So I'm really excited about what's coming up. I can't wait to record. So
it will get interesting. I tell you what, man, because Living Daylights is a masterpiece. Love it. And then I feel like for me, you go from, I think GoldenEye might be my least favorite score of the whole series. But then we also go to one of my absolute favorites, which is Tomorrow Never Dies, immediately afterwards. Yeah. So it's like that one is like Christmas time for Bond fans, as far as I'm concerned, because there's little John Barry style gifts wrapped up in every little cue, and I'm super excited to get onto that one. But
it'll be the shortest episode into the longest episode.
Yeah, 100%, big time. So we're going to be back soon, aren't we? With awesome. A View to a Kill, and then more musical fun to follow. So any final messages, man, for the people who at home who are gutted about No Time to Die and feeling
just keep your chin up.
Man.
Keep your chin up. I mean, we've got a film, and there's the anticipation. Honestly, I've never experienced foreplay the way that I have experienced foreplay in my life as far as a film is concerned. I mean, this is like the longest film striptease you could possibly ever imagine. You know what I mean? Like by the time this thing gets its clothes off, I mean, and we're sitting in the movie theater, it's just going to be like the best thing ever. So let's just enjoy the anticipation. Yeah, man. And, like I said, there's so much content out there right now as far as Bond is concerned. And that's really exciting. And I know it sucks, but it's the hand we've been dealt. So let's just, keep the Bond ship moving forward.
Cool, man. That sounds good to me. I like your ray of LA sunshine positivity. Love it. All right, everybody. We will see you soon. Until next time, I've been Tom Sears.
I've been JW.
And Brian Dobson has been Brian Dobson. And Susie Vanner has been Susie Vanner. And we will see you next week, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Good night.